Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back to part 3 of the Mr. Vintage RC build. If you've seen the last video, the previous video, you'll know that I've been working on building the fuselage, and I'd just like to show you where we've got up to at the present moment. There is the front half of the fuselage, which is just basically a box section made out of plywood. If you remember from the last video, I told you that when we were gluing the formers into position, F1, 2, 3 and 4, that they had to be perfectly at 90 degrees when we glue them. And now I think you'll be able to see the reason for that, because obviously we want this box section absolutely super square, or as square as we can get it. I've got my engineer's square here. If you offer that up to the sides, you will see that is absolutely perfectly at 90 degrees. Also, if I can sort of do this one-handed, if I get the square on the top and put it on, you can see that those formers are absolutely dead on square, front and back. Oops, it's really tricky. There you go, that's absolutely dead on. You can try the square on the front as well. Look at that, bang on square. So we know that the front end is going to be absolutely square. Obviously we don't want to introduce any twist into the model, which will affect the way it flies. It'll affect the thrust line, etc. So we want that really good, and I'm really pleased how that's turned out. The next bit I've been concentrating on is this lattice work framework that's on the rear of the fuselage. If I go show you my other photo, you'll see what I mean. I've been concentrating on this area. If you look now at my building board, you will see that that's really taken shape quite well. What I've actually done here is, instead of constructing two sides on the drawing, which would probably introduce a few inaccuracies, I've actually built the two sides on top of each other. If I come down to the side, you can see that there's two parts sitting directly above each other, like so. This is one of the advantages for using the magnetic building blocks, because obviously if you've got pins in those, you'd struggle to do that without taking the pins out and sort of refitting it when you put the other one on top. So it's really good for that, the old magnetic building board. If you look directly over the top, you will see all the lattice work is bang on to the drawings, and then you will see I've got them exactly flush side by side. Obviously on these crisscross lattice works here, on the one side you've got it going the one way, on the other side it's going the other way to provide maximum strength. What I actually did was put some greaseproof paper on the joints of the first side like that, so when I put the second side on top, when I glue these pieces into position, the greaseproof paper stops it from sticking to the other side. So that's the idea behind that. But as you can see, we've got two identical pieces, which is pretty good. I'd never have done that if I'd tried to do it separately. So just a little tip there. Gluing all that together, I've been using my favourite aliphatic resin. Okay, it does take an hour to go off, but it's well worth it, because it's very easily to sand if need be, and to clean up afterwards, where Sino's a bit hard for doing that, even though Sino would have probably done the job. So that's where we're up to as yet. We're now going to be looking at when this is dried, fitting this to the fuselage into these slots provided at the back end here. I'll be gluing them into there, getting the two sides together, and then we'll be working on the top and bottom cross pieces, and obviously the lattice work, framework on the top and bottom there. I have noticed actually in the kit there's not enough supplied wood for actually making all these, so I have contacted the company, see if we can get a bit more off them. Failing that, we'll have to order some and sort that out ourselves. No big deal really, we can soon do that. So that's where we're up to yet. I hope you've enjoyed the series up to yet, and if you have, please like and subscribe, press the little yellow bell, and you'll be reminded when another video is made.